Comfrey, comfrey, comfrey. What an incredible medicinal plant. I've just picked these beautiful fresh leaves. I'm leaving them on the counter overnight to wilt, and tomorrow morning I'll show you exactly what we're going to do. Hi there, welcome to Real Life on the Homestead in Ontario, and I'm Marie. It's that time of year where I try to prep everything for the winter. Body lotions, infused oils, tinctures, everything. My group and I went out yesterday foraging, and we were fortunate enough to be welcomed onto somebody's property where they had tons of comfrey and other plants, but that's another video. Can't give it all away right away. But today I am going to make an infused oil with comfrey. And the reason I'm making this infused oil is I like to make a body lotion. Very, very simple. You're smart, you can do this. It does not take rocket science. They're sad. They've wilted overnight, but this is exactly what we want. And I'm going to show you how I prep for this. So let's move the camera angle a little so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, so what I've done is I've got all my leaves nicely wilted, and that's just to remove some of that moisture. You don't have to do this if you're doing a quick method, because what you're going to do is heat up the oil, the moisture will evaporate out of the jar, and we're good. Normally, you put your plant in a jar, cover it with your oil of choice. Today I'm going to be using avocado oil, but you can use any oil of choice. So olive oil, coconut oil, lots of other ones. I try to avoid seed oils. But what you're doing is putting your plant matter in and then covering it with that oil of choice. And then you let it sit with a cheesecloth over it 6 to 8 weeks. I need to get this done because I am taking off to Europe in a couple of days. So I want to get this oil prepped and I want my cream ready. So what I want to do is here I cut up my comfrey leaves, and that's just create more surface area. I'm just breaking it up because they kind of all stuck together. And I'm placing it in my mason jar. For my recipe, I'm going to need 1/4 cup of infused oil. So I'm gonna cover this and see what I end up with. I might end up with 2 batches out of this. So let's get my grapeseed oil and top this up. I am using this 100% pure avocado oil. You can use any brand you want. I don't have any loyalty to brands as long as it's good quality. And here we go. I am above the plant matter, which is the most important part. I'm actually gonna do a little bit more just because I wanna make sure that there is no escapees. There we go. Now I am going to put this in my slow cooker on keep warm for 24 hours. I'm gonna place some cheesecloth over my jar to let any moisture escape, but not let anything in. And this is my trick to keeping my cheesecloth on my jars while I'm infusing oils. I don't use rubber bands. And sometimes if you use like butcher twine, it might slip. So this is my trick. I place a lid and very carefully screw it on. And voila, you've got a nice seal. It still escapes all your air, and we're going to infuse this oil. Well, as always, I changed my mind. I'm going to use my Instant Pot because the slow cooker is down in the outdoor kitchen and I don't want to go get it. So what I'm going to do is actually place my jar in some water in the Instant Pot, and I am going to put it on yogurt setting for 24 hours. And that's pretty much the same as doing it in a slow cooker on either low or the keep warm, depending on how hot your slow cooker is. So today I'm using the Instant Pot, the yogurt setting, 24 hours and counting. Well, it is the next morning. Our oil has been infusing overnight. It's been 24 hours. You don't have to do it this long, but I do it at least 24 hours when I'm infusing. And let me just show you what I'm working on here. Let's see if we could get you a little bit better angle. There we go. So I have my cheesecloth. I'll remove that. And as you can see, this is actually pretty warm, but I am going to strain it through a very fine mesh strainer. I don't necessarily use a cheesecloth at this point unless I notice that my oil really has a lot of particles in there. And I'm just gonna press out because we want, oh, there's my timer for the Instant Pot. Isn't that funny? I did do this without the lid, just by, for your information. And also, if you were to do this for long-term storage of your oil, then instead of wilting as I did, I would let them dry out until they're pretty much crisp, because then you have zero moisture and your long-term storage of your oil will be more successful. But let's just see where we're at. Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. Look at this oil. Just see if you could get better lighting. Look how dark that is. So I am gonna measure out 1 cup of tallow and a 1/4 cup of this infused oil. That is one batch. 1 cup of tallow and 1/4 cup of infused oil. Now you can melt your tallow and your oil together in a double boiler. I have just sat my Pyrex, I guess this is container, in a hot water and melted my tallow. So I'm gonna measure out 1 cup. Let's see what I've got here. Oh, look at that, exactly 1 cup. Holy smokes, that was good. I like that. So I have 1 cup of tallow, a quarter, let's get that out of the way, and a 1/4 cup of my infused oil. Obviously I have more infused oil, so I will be making other batches. So that's 1/4 cup of my Comfrey infused oil. Now, this is all you need to make your lotion. So it's very liquidy in there. So I placed this in my blender container, but it does need to cool off. Now, you don't need to add anything. I'm going to add some lemongrass essential oil, and I actually just infused this oil myself with some lemongrass to get that scent. And I literally just put like 4 or 5 drops. I don't want it to be very strong, but I have been finding that my heels are very dry. So I want to make this very nourishing. I'm going to add a tablespoon of vitamin E oil. And I do not measure. This is a brand new bottle, so let's take that top off. I don't measure, I kind of guesstimate, and that is about a tablespoon. Now I will let this sit in the fridge for, let's say, about 2 hours. Because right now it's very liquidy and I do want it to get to like a soft jello consistency, and then I'll blend it up. So we'll come back when we're ready to blend this. So I noticed that I have no more tallow ready. So what I'm going to do is just take my infused oil and pack it up to make another batch of lotion later. It looks like I'm gonna need a little bit more. which is not a big deal. Like this is 1 cup jar. So yeah, I'll be fine. I'll just make another batch later when I have time. And one thing I always do is label my jars. Because no matter how much you think you will remember, you won't. It's happened to me way too many times. So here we are, labeled. So we will be able to know what that is. I'm gonna go away for a couple of weeks. I'm traveling to Europe. So if you wanna follow those, I probably will post some of those videos. But when I get back, I'll make some more of my lotions or even maybe a salve. So let's put this away because today is definitely a clean as you go. And there is my cupboard of my tinctures, oils, oxymels, the whole works. Quite the collection, don't you think? Well, the infused oil with tallow has been sitting in the fridge in my container, and this is the consistency I have right now. So it's kind of grainy looking. It looks like the tallow. So this is where we want, and of course it's going to stick all to my spoon, so finger action it is. I am going to blend it. Now, the blending will make it creamy, but it'll also aerate it so that we get some really nice consistency for our lotion. So here we go. It's gonna be noisy. Partway through, I do scrape down the sides just to make sure that everything is nice and even. And yes, it does make a difference to do this step. I know that you don't have to, but I am sharing with you my experiences so that you could either learn from my mistakes or learn from my successes. And this, my friends, is a success. So let's noise again. It is a noisy appliance, but I love it. Okay, so I'm going to show you, let's get you down here. I'm going to show you how creamy this comes out. I like to use these wide mouth 250 jars. They are perfect for lotions and creams. I find those little containers that you usually use for salves are just too small for this kind of a batch. So let me see if I can angle this so you can actually see. There you go. Now this will harden up a little bit. This can remain on your bathroom counter. And there's more in there. I just want to show you where we're at. Look at the creaminess in here. It will get a little harder, but look at that lotion. Oh, it's so nice. So let me just bring you right back to me. This is so nice. Amazing on your feet and heels. Really nice on the hands. Tallow absorbs into your systems and into your skin very easily because it's very bioavailable to your own skin. This, I don't need any cosmetic surgeries when I've got natural products. I love this stuff. It just absorbs so nicely. Anyway, if you like what I'm doing here on our channel, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. I try to share with you the truth, my successes, my fails, and then we can share it with our friends. So please go out, have your best life, and we'll see you next time.